is a mirror, but what's singing songs is a snake. It is looking to turn my pits to wine. They're both total void of fate and killing me just the same. The snake behind me hisses what my damage could have been. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again. And I feel this coming over like a storm again. Consider it me. Venomous voice tempts me and drains me, bleeds me, leaves me cracked and empty, drags me down like some sweet gravity. The snake behind me hisses what my damage could have been. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again. And I feel this coming over like a storm again. Consider it me. Venomous voice tempts me and drains me, bleeds me, leaves me cracked and empty, drags me down like some sweet gravity. The snake behind me, this is what my damage could have been. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again. And I feel this coming over like a storm again now. And I feel this coming over like a storm again now. I am too connected to you. plenty. I know you got to see me. Read on and weep the dead man's hand again. I see it in your eyes. Take one look and die. The only thing you see, you know it's gonna be the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Sent to drain. Secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of the game. Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like old Joe. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Now I'm naked, nothing but an animal. But can you fake it for just one more show? And what do you want? I wanna change. And what do you got when you feel the same? Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like old Joe. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Then someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me there's no other one. Jesus was an only son, yeah. Tell me I'm the chosen one. Jesus was an only son for you. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Then someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me there's no other one. Jesus was an only son for you. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man in a factory downtown. If I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day. sun-soaked indulges in the shade. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. I took a little nap where the roots all twist, squished a rotten peach in my fist, and dreamed about you, woman. I poked my finger down the side, make a little room for an ant to hide. Nature's candy in my hand, a can or a pie. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Look out! Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. Millions of peaches, peaches
This
for me.
is Console Wars the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now. Everything XboxEra does is only made possible by the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our MVPs and executive producers are all incredible people, but even more so are our grand benefactors, Croat56, Assassin, and Kevin S. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely and benevolent CEO, Torn Raptor. If you want to become part of one of the best communities on the internet, head to patreon.com/XboxEra, where your patronage can help keep us alive for another month. Hello friends and welcome to another episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date is July the 8th, 2025. I'm Sika Mechanico, and today Jesse and I are going to talk you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, we're going to do it all. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make audio versions of these episodes available for them to listen to in Patreon via their preferred podcast app. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your account and listen to it right there instead. If you want to become an awesome individual and support this team directly, you can do so by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra. Hey Jesse, how are you?
Tired.
Yeah? I don't know why the piano seems louder than it usually is.
You want that? It's a slider. I can have it as loud. That's as loud as it gets.
It was on like max volume. I wonder how
No,
it
it
was.
wasn't. It was about 2/3 up, right around there.
It chills me. It makes me feel good.
It's good music.
Yeah, it's lovely to see
Nick
everybody.
is away this Saturday, and we may have someone very cool coming in to replace him.
Yeah, he is confirmed.
Oh,
so
okay,
he is
yes.
coming in. We'll be joined by the boss press engine once more, the lovely Gareth.
He was
So-
fun. He was one of the best guests we've ever had when he was on the first time, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, he waded into our very first topic here, which caused such a hilarious shitstorm to me.
One of the dumbest
week.
weekends I can remember in gaming coverage, and that is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about a few
Mhm.
other things. Before we do all of the actual news, though, a little bit of housekeeping. In that, this week on XboxEra.com, we've dropped a few tidbits, I should say. First off, you've got a new review from an indie title from myself, which is the remake of the 1980s arcade classic from Atari, Missile Command. Rebooted into a first-person narrative adventure with relationship and puzzle elements. Also, they've turned Missile Command itself into a turn-based tactical card game.
That's
Quite
a lot
the
of words.
medley. Yes, quite the medley and mix in terms of what games can be. But I came away from it like really liking the design.
You loved every moment of this review. Every time I was talking to you, you were like, "My God, this is so great! I can't wait to finish this."
I did not love this. I would say in a nutshell, and you feel free to watch the review because it's fun. And honestly, it makes me feel better. I think we were like one of like 5 outlets that actually.
It's really hard to cover everything, and I think we do a pretty good job of doing as much as we do for as small of a team as we are.
Yeah, but the turn-based tactical Missile Command part is the best bit of this game, and for some reason they have wrapped it around this first-person narrative puzzle relationship management stuff. It's not great, and it burdens what could have been a far more interesting game. And I'm always a person that hates to kind of review what a game isn't, but I do make mention of there is a part of me that wishes in an alternate timeline that Atari had gone for incredible explosions and visuals and gone for more like the reactionary remake of the original Missile Command with all of today's fidelity, to go for like some sort of leaderboard based carnage filled, explosion filled game. They didn't. This is what we got. And the turn-based stuff is good. It's just not in a good package. So unless you're a really big fan, I'd probably give this one a miss. But you can check out the review over on XboxEra.com or on our YouTube channel if you are so interested. I wouldn't blame you if you're not. Elsewhere, Jesse decided to take a lot of Adderall.
I didn't decide. I just had to because while I was trying to stream some good old Space Marine 2 yesterday, randomly College Football 26 Deluxe Edition code came in from EA. So I swapped the stream over to playing a whole bunch of that. Played a lot more throughout the rest of the afternoon. With the yearly sports releases, I do find it pretty easy to just figure out what is different since you've already played so much of the previous year. And this one pretty much just makes everything better. It looks better, plays better, has more to everything, makes it feel more like American college hand egg, or football as we call it. Like college sports are the closest we get here to how Europe is in the world is with association football, also known as soccer. It is a really good game. Gave it an 8.5. There's a decently long review. It's not as chunky as I'd like it to be, but it's tough with these ones because we have seen it in the past. And if you get a review out the first day, it'll do many thousands of views. If you get a review out 2 days later or a week later and you've done more time and it's way more in depth and you get everything covered, you'll get a couple hundred at best. So,
yeah.
I'll be jumping in and out, Vol. It's just really fun to play. I don't care that much about college sports, but this game has been the most fun I've had playing a football game. The 2K ones were great, but they were super cartoony and arcadey. I think this one is like the best mix of feeling like what football is without being as boring as football can be because of the insane amount of time that is spent not playing it every game. I think it's like 10% of the 3 hours of a game is actually play, like 5 to 10%, because the clock's always running, but you're setting it up. But also, it's one of the hardest hitting, most crazy fast sports, and if people were playing it more, they would be out of energy within like 3 seconds. Like it's nonstop once you're going, but then you have to stop because so many people are freaking hurt and gassed all the time. Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
great. I had like no major complaints with it outside of the typical Ultimate Team microtransaction stuff. Is
Of
saying it's
course.
not as bad. They have improved the amount that you will earn to buy stuff, but you still got to earn a shit ton to get anything without spending a lot of money. But that wasn't all.
That wasn't all. No, you did that in record time, and then something else came in that you also went through in record time.
Well, so with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, I literally played every single level in it at the preview event.
Yeah.
So it's a remake, a heavy remake on 4 and a light remake on 3 with some new levels and a bunch of different skaters, new music, like a lot of stuff really smartly set up by Iron Galaxy. I do miss the story mode with no timer that 4 had. It wasn't amazing by today's standards, but it was very different at the time. They've converted everything into the 2-minute time trial setup outside of the heat ones where you've got a minute to get as many points as you can and your top 2 scores out of 3 win or lose, depending on how you did. I got my muscle memory back. I was scoring in the many hundreds of thousands pretty quickly. Tore
Nice.
through all the levels, got like half of each game done. So there's plenty of time to go back and do all the basic stuff and then do all the pro challenges, which is where a lot of those Tony Hawk 4 challenges come back into the game. I think it looks amazing. It plays pretty much perfectly. It's a one hell of a package. It's available today in, you bought the deluxe edition. It's available on Friday for everyone for the actual Game Pass day 1, which is day -3 like always.
Yeah.
But we didn't make the original cut, which is why this review was late. Because Activision's a little odd, and I guess codes were extremely limited, and hardly anyone got any. So we were in wave 2, and I got it out as quick as I could, because I already knew the whole game after having done the freaking preview. So I just really wanted to go through everything, make sure it plays well. It looks and runs really well. Everything here is Xbox Series X. It's, you know, some form of 4K. I don't know if there's reconstruction or whatever, but it's super clean looking. There's just a ton to do. And if you are into Tony Hawk games at all, it is awesome. Obviously, they gave us the deluxe edition. That's why I've got Doom Guy, the Slayer, as my my character. And pretty much all the footage I took outside of I put some preview footage in there because I realized I completely forgot to use the Create a Park mode because I'm terrible at it. I don't have the patience. But yeah, no, I highly recommend this one. If you're not in the FOMO, because there's definitely enough games to play, it's perfectly fine to wait for Friday. Unless you really want the Doom Slayer and the Revenant skaters and some of the other stuff you get with the digital deluxe edition. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's Iron Galaxy killed it, I would say.
It's funny to me because this is such a pivotal memory, like a core memory for a lot of gamers that have grown up playing video games. And for me, it's like nothing. I did not play any of these. I have no interest. I'm really happy for everyone that's excited and stuff. I just look at it, I'm like, I get it though. It's kind of like being addicted to like a collectathon platform and trying
also,
to find
one
all the
thing you can
secrets
do
and
in this
scoring all
is
the points
you can up the timer. I think it's like 5, 10, or 60 minutes. So then you can just easily go through a level, get everything done, and not have to constantly replay 2-minute chunks over and over again, which can get a little annoying. But yeah, we did we do lots of reviews and coverage and stuff, and I'm always proud of how much we're able to get done at what I hope is an okay level of quality. I definitely think it shows when things are a day versus 2
I
or
think
3
you
weeks,
did all right, mate.
But yeah,
Mate, we see channels out there that try and approach things in far less professional way than us, and they just stick a fucking phone camera in front of themselves and record and have twice, thrice, or quadruple as many subscribers as we do. So I think you're doing okay, Chief. But yes, there you go. They're all available to read and or watch on XboxEra.com right now. So feel free to do that. Super chat from Sherez on this. John's forge skills on the Creator Park mode. Yeah, I could lean in. But I honestly barely have time. I've got so much stuff I'm juggling at the moment. I've got to catch up with the second wave of Kickstarter copies of Console Wars, the card game, because there were 24 or so people that did not fill in their form when I initially started shipping. And I was like, well, you guys are going to have to wait until there's a lull, and then I will bundle up. Then, and people have been slowly now filling in that form. So anybody that's still waiting, I'm hoping to get those out and start shipping those this week. We've also got the retail copy of Xbox, the console, and the games is heading to print today. The covers are being printed today. I just approved final print on that. I had to have a bit of a conversation with them because they kept putting the author of the book as me, and I'm like, no, I barely wrote anything. I organized loads of stuff, but like this is such a communal project from everyone, so I got them to change it to a collective XboxEra instead. It's worth mentioning as well that if you're interested in the 8-bit do arcade controller for Xbox, Chengus has plonked a review out of that, which is available to read on the website as well. So loads of buttons, too many buttons to write home about, but he did anyway. But yeah, like I just feel like when we've got all these projects and things bubbling away, I just feel an immense sense of pride at this team and the amount of hard work that everybody puts in. It leaves me unable to communicate how happy and how lucky we are to be able to do this in words. Speaking of which, we have managed to find some incredibly reasonable priced accommodation for Gamescom. So we are going to Gamescom. We've already got some previews in for some
I gotta figure out
awesome
my plane
stuff
situation, flying into Frankfurt, and how do the trains work, and how do I make it all work? Because they don't run overnight. So
Activision literally just sent me a code for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Fantasy Edition. I feel like we should probably do some form of a giveaway.
I'm just gonna ask them, make sure they say okay.
Yeah. I will email back and ask them, but maybe we'll do a giveaway on Twitter. It's been a while.
Twitter. Too many bots. We'll do it during the
but no, just in terms of increasing numbers and stuff, and then
death for Twitter. This Friday, the XboxEra subathon.
Yes, to help fund our trip to Gamescom. So we've got the accommodation sorted.
There will be a lot of games given away, no cost of entry. The giveaways are unlocked by donations, though.
Yes.
But then the giveaways can be entered by anyone on the XboxEra Discord at discord.gg/XboxEra. All you got to do is click a button.
You don't even have to be a patron.
You can win.
You can just be in the community.
One.
Only one thing, though.
Yeah.
So,
we're going to spread the love.
But yeah, like if you are intrigued enough or desire enough to see us go to Gamescom, attendees would be myself, Jesse, and our lovely art editor who does not get enough love and affection from everybody. Pre-drag. You can donate to our Patreon, PayPal, which we'll put a link in the chat in a second. You can donate to us there, but we will be pushing that hard on Friday's subathon. And as a special treat to keep some promises that we've made, one of the games that we will be streaming, and we're going to have to work on the setup of this prior to Friday, by the way, so I don't know if you want to do tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night. I'm going to pick up 2 copies of Phasmophobia, which is the horror paranormal game that is playable in VR, and we're going to figure out and do it in VR, live streamed, where people can literally hear me crap my pants in real time. It's great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. But we really appreciate everybody.
We're at 14:45 right now. I'll remember, and anything you add now will be included for Friday's stuff, as far as unlocking giveaways and whatnot.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into
the dumbest fucking topic I can remember becoming a thing for a few days. In a while.
Let's do that. Let's dive into the news of the things.
There is no news. Let's dive into people's confirmation biases.
Yeah, I feel like,
Super chat.
and I tweeted this earlier on. Hey, Sherez with a $20 super chat, some cash towards Phasmophobia copies. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Let's rewind a little bit. Xbox Game Pass. It's arguably one of the most value-filled subscription services in all of gaming. But on Saturday the 6th, I think, or Sunday the 6th. Yeah, Sunday. Chris String, the
not for
editor
him.
in
It's
chief.
this is for Game Pass, destroying the industry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are. He tweeted an interesting tweet. In a nutshell, he said that. God, I'm just talking over this topic. In a nutshell, he kind of said that Game Pass isn't profitable, and Xbox told him so. That's me paraphrasing.
Yeah, it was essentially that they don't take any of the costs of Game Pass into account for when it comes to first party releases, was the way it read to most people.
And this started a uproar, I'm going to say. This started a media frenzy of outlets covering this and, you know, the usual stuff. And I feel like a large majority of the games industry's media kind of showed their collective biases by doing this. Because we sat in it and we were like, that doesn't sound quite correct from our own knowledge, as well as things previously spoken about. Let's just sit on this for a minute before we start reporting this as fact. And then there's a walk back on this from Chris String, who said, okay, I need to clarify something. First, Xbox Game Pass is profitable, even when you factor in the lost sales for its first-party teams. Sources who would know have told me. Over 18 months ago, I checked with Xbox about what's included in the Game Pass profit and loss. So we're talking accounting on a business spreadsheet right now. Basically, I was looking to see if Game Pass's costs factor in the impact to unit sales of their own internal studios. The argument being that, okay, here is a new Doom. Do we factor in the potential lost sales via retail channels by putting it in Game Pass? Like, do we factor that in? I was told that first-party games, this is Chris String now, have their own P&L separate to Game Pass as they make their money via other means. I felt this piece of internal accountancy might mean Game Pass is profitable, but it sure does put pressure on the margins for its internal games and possibly means some studios don't make as much profit or any profit at all. This doesn't actually matter in real terms, but seeing the impact Game Pass was having on first-party games and the amount of money Xbox was spending on studios, I wanted to check if the full impact of the service was being considered in their Game Pass is profitable line. This was also before Xbox started publishing fully on PlayStation 5. Studios can now make stronger margins on premium sales as a result of that move. Regardless of all of that, sources have reached out to tell me that even when you include lost revenue associated with first-party games, not just unit sales, but microtransactions, Game Pass is still profitable. So that's great. Right. Tony Hawk's is out. Let's get back to that. So, like, one little tweet and tons of articles and journos writing on this later, as well as forum replies and the usual console warrior idiots going mad. Nothing's changed. Game Pass is still profitable. How do we all feel about this journey that we went on? Anybody think that this was the dumbest fucking thing to...
The moment I saw the tweet, I knew what was going to happen. Like, you know, the shitstorm's coming.
Yep.
And you know, because Microsoft just did what they do and fired a lot more people again. I did also see people constantly trying to say Xbox fired 9,000 people. It's like, no, Microsoft fired 9,000. The only indication we've had of how many at Xbox is roughly 1,000. Like, and they still have 19,000 people working there. So whenever you say essentially you just wish Xbox was gone, you're just saying 19,000 more people should lose their jobs. I guess this kind of ties into the next story a little bit, which we'll get into later, but there's such a be first, not right mentality in everything.
It's the compounding of multiple problems within this industry. Like, put aside how rough making video games is for developers, for publishing arms, for indies, all of that jazz. That is a shit show. And I feel for everybody that's trying to survive and stay alive and keep their teams together, etc., etc. The media side of this industry, us included, lives in a world where if you're first, great. If you hit the SEO, great. And if it's negative content, even better, because it gets people going and there's engagement. And that goes across YouTube, that goes across content creator spaces, that goes across media websites. And the way that this was immediately latched onto with headlines left, right, and center from multiple large outlets, based off of a tweet, and then it immediately starts accusing, like, you know, leadership that have been quoted previously as saying it's profitable, like calling out their lies and dumping all this. And this was instantaneous, only for it to be walked back minutes, you know, or days later. 36 hours
it was
between.
36 hours. Yeah, it was quite a while between.
I mean, that is insane. That, like, if I were Microsoft or if I was Xbox, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? But this is the thing, and this is where I talk about that media collective bias kind of thing through. All of us, all of the media, are kind of angry at Microsoft right now as an organization, right? They're horrible, right?
Yeah.
All corporations mostly are, and media walk this interesting line. Same as video game PR and media and video game developers, they all kind of merge together. There are very few actual video game journalists. We aren't video game journalists, right? Nor do we pretend to be. But the people that write about video games, the people like us that make content, we happen to really love gaming. So when we see a mistake from a hardworking team, or when we have to give a bad review for a game that we know people have poured their hearts into, we don't enjoy that. But there is a certain segment, there is an seedy underbelly of this industry now that really does. They rub their hands together with fucking glee, knowing that they can dump on something. And I feel like there's no better example of seeing that in action than in the last 36 hours. And that's just my opinion. You can call me an idiot, you can call me a shill, you can call me a fanboy. I don't really give a fuck. That is, like, it's painful to watch, right? And I've started, like, thinking, oh, maybe I should write something on XboxEra.com. And I literally started writing an article, is Game Pass profitable? And the content is yes. And then the next paragraph is, well, I should probably owe you a little bit more than that. So let's dive into why you might be Googling that question. Because even I'm like, should we jump on the SEO train for this? And that's how shit this industry is. That even us who like, that doesn't sound right, let's maybe wait a minute. Let's wait for some clarifications beyond one tweet with one source that we don't know. Now we're here. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. Like, you are all absolutely correct to think Microsoft is a piece of shit company that makes stupid decisions, that is led by someone who is chasing, I think, a AI bubble that is definitely going to burst and result in even more job losses, and that they are willing to throw people and departments and brands in the line of fire to fund that stupid dream. And it's going to go wrong. And there's going to be more things to come over the coming years that will make it even worse. You're all absolutely right to feel that way. But it's also kind of gross that that's what everybody has to do to survive. And that's why, when I was talking earlier about how much it makes me proud and how grateful we are as a team to the people watching right now, to our patrons, to our YouTube members, you guys help us stay alive and, for the most part, try and avoid doing that awful shit. Like, as best we can. We try not to get into the rage bait, into the clickbait, because
no matter how
we don't
badly
enjoy
Nick
it.
wants to.
We just don't enjoy it. We don't want to. And yes, we could see rampant growth if we started doing all the fanboy stuff like all the other fucking chuds do, but it's not in ourselves to do it. And if you are aligned in that way of thinking, if you actually just want to read the news without a personal opinion written over the top of it, if you just want to play video games and understand what's good and what's bad, and if you're primarily playing on this platform, despite all of its challenges and all of its hurdles, I still maintain that we're probably one of the best places to be. That being said, we also get, I'm on a rant now, can you tell? We also get dragged into the negative side of being an Xbox focused outlet, in that we were immediately written off by the vast majority, even by the vast majority of what we would consider peers in this industry, sites just like ours that just happen to cover everything and not just one platform. And we're, you guys are just a fan outlet. And it's like, we worked really fucking hard to get to where we are. And the fact that we get treated like that, and we know we do, irritates, because we do want to be taken a little bit more seriously than that, because there's a lot of effort that goes into what we do, which is why we talk about the brand change a little bit more recently, because this is getting more and more difficult for us as an outlet to survive in these turbulent reactionary filled waters. I can't think of anything else to say. That's it. My rant's over. I hope you enjoyed. At least I didn't like start spraying spit everywhere. I'm just, it just bums me out, man. Like, I love video games so much. I love the people that make them. I love all of the core memories and the formative things that I've been able to play since I was a kid. And I love being able to tell people like what to go try out now across this whole team and all the different talents and passions that are a part of it. And to be looked down upon by people that are or were in the same position as us 10 years ago or something like that, as if we're a piece of shit. It grinds my gears, bro. Grinds my gears. Anyway, appreciate all of you. A big lot, as my missus would say. So, yeah, there we go. That's what happened. Game Pass is still profitable. Yeah. The end.
There was nothing to indicate it wasn't outside of people essentially ignoring the whole reason why the firings happened. Like, they happened because very different reasoning, and people won't accept why they happened. It's like, no, just don't believe them. When the main reality would be they happened because Microsoft called for cuts in that area. Like, they called for cuts. Nothing we can really do about it.
Yeah. Vol in the chat. Wait, you're changing brand? We're thinking about it. Like, genuinely, we are deliberating on.
Jon is constantly thinking about it.
What the best approach is, and it's for a multitude of reasons. It's not because we no longer enjoy playing on the Xbox platform, but if we want to stay alive, like, we can't cover the Nintendo Switch 2 to the same degree as everybody else. We can't cover the PlayStation 5 to the same degree as everybody else. Yeah. Even with indie games on PC, we could choose to cover them, but we don't often, unless it's also coming to Xbox because, right? So it's like, can we get to a world where we can actually cover everything?
And it doesn't mean exactly what people think, which is going to be, oh, you're going to start giving shitty reviews to everything else. It's like, no, it's covering breaking news to get ad revenue. Is the, like, if our Patreon quadrupled right now, we wouldn't even have to really think about it. Yeah. But it hasn't. It's grown steadily, not a ton, but we need to be able to cover more rumors, more breaking news, and not have people question why the hell we're doing it because Xbox is in our name, not anything else.
XboxEra CEO Torn Raptor in the chat says rename it to Torn Raptor and compete with Tech Raptor. By the way, and I hope you're okay with me calling this out, the CEO, and I won't say the amount, has made a sizable donation to the PayPal just now. Many thanks to you, Torn.
I will remember this, and it will probably unlock many giveaways then.
Yeah, straight away there'll be some giveaways get to go. But like, I can see lots of other questions on here. I don't regard it as a. I'm of two minds about it. Right? Do I want to rebrand? Not particularly. It's a lot of hard work, and it actually undoes a lot of work that we have to start building up again. So, on the back end of things, XboxEra has a certain amount of web authority that we've built up over 6 years through backlinks and people reporting on our content, referencing when we've done interviews and things like that. And changing the name of the team and the website affects all of that in a negative way. It affects how Google ranks us in terms of SEO. It affects all sorts of things. So the minute we make a decision and we do that, we're going to see a drop in ad revenue. We're going to see a drop in search rankings in Google, all of the shit.
It would still be the XboxEra podcast, though.
It would. It's worth referencing that. But the new name, you know, it nods towards Xbox still, kind of like our legacy, I suppose, as an outlet. But effectively for you guys, there's no change. Yeah. You know, the brand is just a name, right? The content that you get, the twice weekly news shows, the types of reviews that we do, the opinion pieces,
the mega boost,
everything, all of that stuff, the content is the same. It's just the wrapper that would change. But there's an enormous amount of work to go in, from logos to animations to YouTube thumbnails to branding across the board. And it all has to be done in one big hit. And then we have to tank it for like 2, 3, 5 months. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question to build back up to where
You
we
will be
were.
writing a lot of SEO, John, to get it back up.
But the thinking
Finally.
is that 6 months after that change, when we're able to report on what Sony's doing in detail and what Nintendo's doing in detail and the latest indie releases on PC, or even dabble more in VR, or whatever the hell we want to do,
Or
because we
whatever
love
the hell
video games,
SEO is telling us to do as well.
we'll be able to do that and be in a place to do it, as opposed to, like, you would all feel weird if we started reviewing PlayStation.
And it is
games
weird,
when
like,
were still
as we
called
talk about it a
Xbox
lot
Era.
more, a lot of it won't be like front-facing. A lot of the
Yeah.
SEO stuff you'll never see on the site. So the website, the podcast, all that stuff, it just ends up staying the same. If you're just curious why the name changes, it is entirely because we don't want to get yelled at if we cover all the stuff people really care about clicking on, so that we can exist. That's all. But we would still primarily be an Xbox coverage site because it's the main thing we all use. You muted yourself. I guess I'll say it.
Yeah, I can see some comments in the chat. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not us giving into toxicity. It is us, much like Microsoft is arguably in this industry, repositioning and doing something to enable our survival. And that's just me being super.
Like when a game like Death Stranding 2 comes out for PlayStation and it's really hot SEO for a bit, and you just want to do, when is it coming out? When is it available? Those types of pieces. It feels a little better doing that when you're not a site called XboxEra and people search for it and like, oh, it's coming to Xbox because of the name.
Yeah.
Like just that type of stuff.
And all of this goes without saying, in that just having another brand's IP in our name feels.
Well, it's always inherently dangerous because it just takes one person's line of thought changing, and then all of a sudden your entire studio is put in peril, though not as bad as had been previously reported, thankfully.
Yes. Let's dive into our next story. I apologize for the tangent and me just waxing lyrical about this crazy industry. But yeah, the plan is definitely to widen coverage at some point in the future. Next up in news, Romero Games, who were affected, it seems, by the cuts at Microsoft, and even though they haven't said this publicly, they're effectively saying, look, you can put two and two together and make a guess. They released a follow-up statement with regards to many outlets just running with the studio's closed, based off one former employee saying the studio is effectively closed. They're just running. Studio's closed down.
And
Romero
I saw
Games
people taking Brenda Romero's comments and her whole thing she put out and saying, and Brenda Romero confirms that the studio is now closed. I'm like, there's nothing in there that says that. The game is canceled because they lost their funding. But now it's come out. They've had interest from others and they're trying to save it. Like, it's not dead.
It's not dead. The full report from Romero Games is as follows. They said, we want to address recent reports regarding the status of Romero Games. These reports have contained inaccuracies and we feel it's important to set the record straight. Bullet points. The funding for our project was pulled and our game was cancelled. Due to confidentiality agreements, we cannot disclose the publisher's identity, though some may infer it.
I think they are tiny and squishy.
As a result, we now have to reassess the entire staffing at our studio, hence some of the layoffs. Romero Games is not closed, and we are doing everything in our power to ensure that it does not come to that. Any suggestion otherwise is factually incorrect. Indeed, we were in the studio today to discuss next steps with our team. We've been contacted by several publishers interested in helping us bring the game across the finish line, and we're currently evaluating those opportunities. We appreciate the outpouring of support, and we will share further updates as we are able. So, I mean, if anything, to contextually link this to my previous rant, there we go again. There's always this desire to be first and get that drama out there as quick as you can.
And there's always a lot more emphasis on the first report and never the correction.
Yeah. Game Pass isn't profitable is going to be a thing now for a long time because no one cares about the
You know what's the
correction.
thing now? Final Fantasy 16 sold 20,000 copies on Xbox. That is just taken as fact by people.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that that game made it into the top paid for 2 editions and we have never been given actual numbers. They just take Alinea Analytics and their who knows where they got it from estimates as gospel, and that is it. And it's always the people who don't want that to be the case will pretend there's no chance it's true, The people who want it to be the case will pretend it is guaranteed fact, and just it's nothing but confirmation bias nonstop. And it's really hard to tell you're doing that when you are the one guilty of it. Like, I get it, but it's just most of game discussion now is nonstop confirmation bias.
And comparisons. Let's just endlessly compare this thing to this thing, this platform to this platform, this game to this game. Whatever. I'm so glad I've never really given a fuck about sales. Like, it pains me to
really,
have to
it doesn't
write that.
matter for us. Like, it doesn't for us. Like, we can be interested and care about some of the people that work there and hope that things go well for them. But people really get like rah-rah, super jazzed and pumped about the thought of being behind something that wins in some way every time.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so best of luck to Romero Games. The funniest thing to do now would be for a publisher to pick it up, pump out a 90+ rated Metacritic, and everyone can point and laugh at Microsoft. That would be the funniest thing to have happen. Like, Sony, get on that. Like, if you want to keep that console war going, stoke those fires, just jump in there, lads. Like, this is the time. Yeah. Next up in news, Square Enix has invested in Vaultbreakers developer Beta Dwarf. This one, we actually covered this yesterday. Interestingly, I've seen other outlets now pick up on it today. They are the developers of action RPG Vaultbreakers, which has announced that they have had some investment in them from none other than publisher Square Enix. If you're not sure what Vaultbreakers is, we've got it up on the screen now. It's a top-down adventure action RPG full of PvP and PvPvE modes. Looks fun, right? Like, if you're into this sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah,
Crafting.
there's tons of bosses and things like that. They've been doing open play tests to get their stuff down, and now Square Enix have stepped in to invest to help bring the game to its final point. Per Stefan Kabelgard, who's the CEO and game director of Beta Dwarf, they've said that being accompanied by Square Enix on our journey is an amazing access to a combination of knowledge, talent, and resources. We're already very far along with our dream game, Vaultbreakers. We have a huge, amazing community, and we've already run 15+ tests with more than 50,000 players who constantly enable us to refine. So getting this additional support feels amazing when we're this far into production already. I can really see how this enables a home run versus having just started on an uncertain journey. I'm really excited about our situation. Square Enix equally are quite pleased. The business development general manager at Square Enix, Hideki Uehara, says Square Enix is always looking for high quality games and talented development studios. When I played Vaultbreakers, I was genuinely excited by the experience of connecting with other players and exploring its rich game world. After visiting Beta Dwarf and learning about the team's mission and passion, we decided to invest in them to help realize their dream and bring this game to players around the world. I mean, that's a nice news story, and amongst all the horrible stuff, a cool team that's making a game gets to make their game. Thanks, Square Enix. Good on ya. Next up, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 is live this week. It's raising money for Doctors Without Borders. You can check out the article over on XboxEra.com from Cengus. But the nutshell, they're going through their bi-yearly speedrunning event.
They did Blueprints.
Money to that team. They did a speedrun of Blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, people who've played the game are like, there's like 40 things in this speedrun. I didn't know we're even in this game.
It's amazing. Oh, I'll have to go and tune in and watch that. I heard someone did Indiana Jones and the Great Circle in 1 hour and 25 minutes, which is just like, what?
I think there was an avowed speedrun as well, which is like an any % done. Yeah. There's some talented maniacs in there.
It's mad to me. But I love that stuff like this exists. This is love for games. This is passion personified here. But yeah, really, really cool. So check out the article on XboxEra.com. You can donate and you get a chance to win prizes, much like our subathon on Friday. But you can just chill out and watch crazy talented people do crazy talented things with awesome games, which is never a bad thing in my book. Elsewhere, Unity has promised strong AI copyright guardrails after an employee conjures Mickey Mouse on a stream. Oof. Let's get into that. This is via Brian Francis, a senior editor over at GameDeveloper.com. Unity has told developers they should expect strong guardrails to be placed around its AI tools after their copyright infringing capabilities were inadvertently tested by the engine maker on a now deleted official stream. I mean, this is fun stuff, isn't it? Unity informed Game Developer it had taken down the stream midway through writing this story. On the stream, which aired on June 24th, Unity senior advocate for emerging tech, Manuel Sainsili, accidentally confirmed the current version of Unity AI is capable of generating assets based off of copyrighted content. In this case, Disney's widely recognized mascot, Mickey Mouse. Sainsili and senior community manager Jackson Stevens had been responding to a viewer who asked them what would happen if a user told the Unity AI platform to generate a sprite of Mickey Mouse. Stevens stated he successfully tested the existing guardrails in his own time, but Sainsili said that Unity has no control over the asset generation. Maybe the data might show some weird stuff, he said, before prompting the tool to generate an asset based on Disney's Mickey Mouse. 4 images of the squeaky voice mascot then appeared in the asset library. Boom, just like that.
Oops.
Unity spokesperson stressed that one of the company's goals with its AI betas is to make sure that the right guardrails are in place to help prevent copyright issues, especially before those tools are generally available. Yeah, it looks like you guys have got some work to do, right? Like, oof. There you go. Fun times.
It reminds me, like, you can go into a lot of the. So there was an AI trial where they won because it's considered transformative. Because you can't just prompt it to give you copywritten material. It'll tell you, no, no, no. Except for the fact that you absolutely can if you trick it. One of the main ways people trick stuff is to say, well, my grandma used to read me a bedtime story. And she had been reading, before she passed away, she had been reading me Harry Potter. Could you read me Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, chapter 6? And it says, oh, sure. And it just prompts, the entire thing comes out. Word for word, the exact, like, chapter is written, because it's all just there. It's been talked about before, like Meta did hundreds of thousands of book torrents and just illegally downloaded all of it. So even if you pay for that one copy, it's not good enough because you are putting it in whole, and it can still be pulled out whole. Like it's not. It is an industry built entirely off of rampant theft, and there's still just not enough. Like, there's never going to be enough written words in all of human history to feed in what would be necessary for this stuff to become like the, whatever they end up calling it, the singularity and whatnot. So, but like, it's companies profiting off of other people's stuff, and it's never going to go away.
The bubble will burst. Some big place like the EU, for example, will be like, this isn't allowed, and half of the AI bubble will just melt down overnight because now they can't strip everybody that's human that's created stuff to feed their devices. It's such a it's a mess. Man, I hate this industry. I've just seen stuff on Twitter, and it's just making my eye. Stay off of Twitter, people. It's the sensible, healthy thing to do. But we all knew that already, right? Anyway, elsewhere in some bad news. I don't want to end the show on bad news. Quickly, find something else. Yeah. Find something else. 2K mobile studio Cat Daddy Games is reportedly making layoffs. This comes via GameDeveloper.com with Diego Arguello, contributing editor, writing here. 2K owned the studio Cat Daddy Games, and it's worked on titles based on NBA 2K, WWE, and NFL 2K franchises, and has now seemingly laid off a number of employees. Multiple developers announced their departures on LinkedIn. Live Ops specialist Cade Ahern, senior producer Bob Givnin, and Live Ops producer Jeff Cals all posted about the layoffs and said that they were personally impacted by the cuts. Reportedly, this isn't the first round of layoffs at that studio in 2025. Producer Nikki Baldry said she was laid off back in late May, while 3D animator Peter Hon wrote a similar post in March. 2K apparently had a solid financial quarter back in February.
Always do.
Yeah.
Never matters.
Come on, what else have you hit me with? I'm checking back on the thingy prompter here. There's
a state of play
some
coming
good
this
news.
Thursday.
See, look, if we weren't called XboxEra.com, you guys would think this was totally normal. But Headlines is a neutral show. Ghosts of Yotei, State of Play and Gameplay Deep Dive is coming for PlayStation fans this Thursday. As you know, Ghosts of Yotei is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. It's the follow-up. It looks really, really cool. You can tune in live at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. EST, 10 p.m. BST, a bit rough for us in the UK, on PlayStation's Twitch and YouTube channels for a deep dive from developers Sucker Punch. Awesome. Looks super cool, right?
Yeah, like the first game was solid. I enjoyed it.
Congrats. I think that's one of their biggest releases this year, isn't it?
That's the big one this year, really. Yeah. Because Death Stranding, while being a pretty big game, is, I still think, a little more niche.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's it. That's all the news, he says, delightedly.
We will be back on Thursday with more, but the big day's Friday. We'll be going all day.
All day long.
Probably not much longer than the 11 and a half hours we can do on YouTube, because I am going to see Superman on Saturday at noon.
Nice.
So then a couple weeks later, it's Fantastic Four. So lots of superhero stuff this month. But yeah, we will be back trying our very best to pay off this Gamescom trip. We've got some really cool appointments already. Very excited.
Seriously, I was
oh boy, nice, cool things. Both John's mix of indies and my types of things I really like. And hey, I just got to reply on another one. Yep, they're going to be there the whole week, so I can figure out a time to go see it. Cool.
Feels good. Feels good.
It's very nice. I just need to actually do the plane trip and figure out flying. So I'm probably going to have to go from here up to Boston.
To Frankfurt.
Over to Frankfurt, and then figure out how the train works to go.
Wait, you got to fly to Boston first?
Unless you want to pay double and get a direct flight. I would love that.
Oh, okay. Oh, you'd fly to Boston. You wouldn't
fly to Boston for a layover to Frankfurt.
Well, let's see how well we do in terms of our summer subathon, in terms of what flight you can get.
Yeah, because there is a direct one, but it's expensive.
Direct to Frankfurt from Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they just get the train down from Frankfurt to Cologne.
And the bullet 185 kilometer an hour train or whatever it is, that takes like an hour.
German trains very efficient.
Supposedly.
It's because we pay all the taxes to all the companies that own our trains here in the UK. Awesome. Big thank you to everybody in the chat. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button on the stream, please do so before you depart us and leave us to be. And as always, if you want to support us directly, please do consider checking out our Patreon, and we'll leave you with a little bit more in terms of what you get now. We'll see you on Thursday. Ciao for now.
This is XboxEra. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the Xbox Era podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support.
Never say what you mean, all I hear is a scream. Never say that to me, never say that to me. Wait, wipe that shit off your face, let's not stop till we bleed. The more you spit out your mouth, the less I believe. Denial seems it had to come, relied on me to say it all. Denial has left you and all that shit that you said, and we'll make it